Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Wanted to up pot this grafted Jan Boyce that we did some months ago on the channel into a larger pot, little container here. So let's get started with that and show you how we're going to do it. We're going to put a little bit of organic fertilizer in there, get it out of the coffee can, take a look at the root structure, then transplant it. Let's take a look at that now. What I'm going to do now, as I've started, is cut it out of the coffee can here and basically just take this and get this thing cut so it'll come out and I'll have the soil intact so we can take a look at the roots at the bottom. So let me do that real quick and we'll show you what they look like. If you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Now let's take a look at those roots. Now let's take a look at these roots we got here. This is from a seedling we planted last year. So we've grown all the way down to the bottom. We've got roots on the sides. So I'm thinking it's ready to up pot. And so what we're going to do is put this in to a new container here. We're using Gary's Top Pot potting soil that I use on all my potted containers when I'm not making my own soil. Going to put a little organic fertilizer in there afterwards. Let me fix this. Let's take a look at how this sits in the container here. I'm going to just fluff up these roots a little bit. Set this in. I can use a little more soil. So this, as you can see with this soil here, well binding soil, holds the moisture really well, allows water to flow through it really well. Let's get a little bit more in here so I can sit it a little higher. Yes, we do drink a lot of coffee. These coffee cans do come in handy. We like to recycle as much as we can. And these things hold soil. I grow seedlings in them. It's better than throwing them in landfills. So spread this out a little bit. Nice little flat layer. What I did is I already pre-watered the bottom portion that was in here. Let's get this back in here. Set this up and get this plant in the ground. We're still a little low. I'd rather be a little low than a little too high because I want to put a lot of mulch in there. As you can see, I'm going a little deeper in this pot because what I'm going to do is mulch it up to here. And then I don't plan on keeping it in here, but you can see the fantastic growth on this grafted Jan Boyce limb. Lots of new growth coming in on it. New growth, another limb popping up. Our graft's down here where the rubber band is, and I haven't taken that off. I'm just going to let the sun sort of wear it off naturally. More new growth right here. Just a beautiful grafted Jan Boyce on a reed seed, believe it or not, a reed seedling. So I'm going to add a little bit more height on this and we'll come back and take a look at it. Okay, I think you can see I raised it up. I've got the top of it about even with that little groove right there. That way I can put some mulch in there. But you look at all these fantastic roots growing out in every direction. This is what you like to see in a healthy tree. Now we're going to get some widespread roots in this container. Hopefully get this thing to stay in this container a year or more. Let's see how big we can get this Jan Boyce to grow. So let me fill it back in with more dirt. A little bit of the organic fertilizer that I'll mix in as we're doing that. We'll come back in a moment. Now in this last about third of soil, I want to add a little bit of the organic fertilizer, and I don't want to pour it right on top of the plant. I want to pour it out where the roots are going to grow to into this soil. And what will happen also is as we water, this fertilizer will work its way down to the lower roots area. So I really don't want to get it too concentrated, but I do want the roots to grow into it. So as we're potting it, now we have whatever we had in this when I did it, which was basically all I've used on this originally was just Gary's Top Pot soil. Did water it with some Alaska Fish Formula water. Really never put much fertilizer into it. So I want these roots to grow into the fertilized area. So that's how I'm doing it on this last third of soil. So let's put that in and show you what the finished product looks like. So let's get this final batch of dirt in here. Get it around here. What we'll do then is we'll take it down, water it in. You'll see how this will drop probably an inch or so. So we'll get this all sorted out here. I'll set it on the ground and we'll water it in. Finish up with some mulch and call it good. So there's a few of our other potted trees. Let's set this down here. Show you what we got. Grab the water and finish it up. And you'll see as you water this in that our soil level will drop here probably an inch or inch and a half. So I really like to flood these things, let the water percolate down. You see all the air bubbles coming out naturally. This is our reed we got here that's pushing some flowers on it. A lot of new growth and flowers coming in on it. Excited to see this one in a container. This will be the first full year in a container. Our charwool that we put in the 40-gallon container. And you can see how far and the air bubbles that have come up through this. So what I'll do again is I'll hit it with another really deep watering, throw some mulch on it, and we'll call it good. And wait and watch this thing grow. All right, let's add a little bit more water to this. Get some more of those air bubbles out of there, air pockets. Get enough water above the soil, excuse me, above the soil. It'll force the air out of the soil. Everyone always says, got to be careful of air pockets. Well, you put enough water behind the pressure of the water will push these air bubbles out. So you can see we've got some bubbles popping out of there. And I'll just keep watering it till we don't have any. And that's how I up pot and you can see water coming out of the bottom still, but we still have air. We still have air coming out of there. So I just keep flooding it. We'll mulch it and be done. Let's take a look at the finished product. Another little tip here, if you got some avocado leaves that have fallen on the ground, get some of them and you transplant something over, scrunch them up a little bit, make a little mulch, and throw that on the plants too before you put your regular mulch on top, just to give this thing a little bit of the natural nutrition it needs from avocado leaves. And these are off the other Jan Boyce I have here. So they're the same species or variety. So then we'll throw our mulch on top of this, and we've given it the same variety of last year's Jan Boyce leaves. Allow this thing to absorb a little nutrition from it. Let's get our mulch on here. We give the mulch one final watering. We sort this out. Now you got a well mulched with leaves, and this is cedar, red cedar. Keep it off the there we are, Jan Boyce on a reed seedling. Please like, share, subscribe. Let us know what you think of the channel. Ask any questions. Love talking with people out there about what they're doing and how they do these things. And we'll talk to you next time.